Hello, everyone. Welcome to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, and you're listening to Going Solo Life After Relationship Loss. And I am Cece Schatz, a doyen of relationship building, and I want to thank you so much for listening to us today. We are the number one internet singles talk network, and I want to thank you so much for that. All of our information is right there on goingsolomedia.com. And so I hope you'll check it out, all our wonderful hosts and guests that are on there. Today we were supposed to have a guest, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. Hopefully she'll be joining us in a bit. But let's go on. Let's talk about empowered, how we feel empowered after divorce. And so what I can bring to you is I can bring to you 7 ways in which to make you feel empowered after divorce. And if our guest pops up, we'll go ahead and bring her forward. So we'll see what happens. But after divorce, it feels like a death, right? It feels like a true loss of someone in our lives. And so we really have to step back for a minute and think about it like that, because so often what we feel is that um, we just can't explain it, right? And so we're going through these feelings, and they're actually grief feelings that we're experiencing, that we're going through. And when someone steps out of our life, whether it be by death or divorce or even a relationship breakup, we have this horrible feeling of loss, and being feeling that we're not empowered, right? Feeling that we're powerless. And so the best thing to do when that happens is really get support. You must get some sort of support as you start to move forward in your life. And so one of those things that you can do is you can reach out to maybe a divorce support group. I have one that we would love for you to join. We have it locally here in our Tampa Bay area, and we're looking to do some online things so we could actually bring you forward with that. But if not, look in your local area and see if there's something like that in your area that you could actually bring forward, and you could start going to. Because I tell you what, when you connect with other people that are going through what you're going through, it truly is, it is a blessing. And when you talk to your family and your friends, they don't always get it, and they can give you some bad advice, right? Because you never know what's going to happen, what tables are going to turn. And so what you want to do is really get with someone that can help you. You can go with a divorce coach, or someone that specializes in relationship loss, and talk to them with regards to the situation, what has happened, how you're feeling. Because the biggest thing is that you don't really want to put the blame on the other person, because we all participate in a relationship, right? So what you want to do is you really want to get to a place that you of understanding for yourself as to what could you have done better, maybe what you want to do better, maybe what you want further in your life. And so you can think about those kind of things, and as you move forward. But if you go with a coach, they're professionals, they know how to bring this out of you, because a lot of the times our answers are deep within ourselves, and we don't realize that, right? We think, well, it's always the other person, but deep down, it's the healing that we must make from within for us to be able to travel to the next journey. And so that's what's very important for us. And so then the next step would be, I just have to get my notes here, is personal development after a breakup. So you definitely want to have that. And as I said before, it's really understanding those things that we're going through. And so by getting a coach or getting someone like that, you're actually um, starting to go from within, right? You're starting to get that peacefulness from within, understanding of who you are, what you want, where you want to be in your life, and all of those kind of things. So it's very, very important to start that journey of personal development. Also, you want to be starting to spend some time with families and friends. You want to get out of the house. You do not want to isolate yourself. It's okay to take a little bit of time aside to be able to kind of home in and focus a little bit and kind of be with yourself. But you don't want to start isolating yourself, because what happens when you do that is a lot of times you start living in the negative, right? And you start living in a world that you can't step out of. And so it's best to start when you've actually done some personal development, you've maybe contacted a coach, you've joined a group that kind of help you move through, then you want to start beginning to get out and get out and step out and do some things. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to start understanding what makes you happy, right? Because a lot of times we lose ourselves within a relationship. So the best thing to do is step out, start doing some things that you might like to do. Maybe it's not time to date. I'm not saying for you to go out and start dating. What I'm saying is for you to go out and do things that you truly enjoy doing. So, like, let's say, for instance, guys, if you're listening, I hope that you are. You want to go out and maybe do some sports, do some things, hang out with the guys, do some things like that that you enjoy doing. It's always great to take up exercise, start working out. Ladies, that can work for you too, but start doing some of those things. Start, what I always say is, like, it's not just the physical aspect, right? We want to start looking better, doing better, feeling better, right? But it's also our minds, right? So we want to start doing some things that maybe can educate ourselves, maybe learning something that we had always wanted to learn, right? Doing something within the arts that maybe would expand your horizon with becoming joyful, right? And so a lot of times music, maybe learn an instrument, or, go and take a class that you've always wanted to take that you haven't had time to do. Learn something totally new. You never know where that takes you in life. So it's a really a great thing to be able to do, to step out of yourself a little bit. Then the next one would be, if I get off my notes here, you want to okay, this is what you don't want to do. You don't want to turn to your children, right? You do not want to turn to your children for advice or help or anything like that to get through it, even if your kids are older. And so it's better to go to either a professional, someone that knows, and I feel it's better to go to a professional, someone that knows what they're doing, or a support group that can that can connect with you on the same mind level. But you don't want to go to your children for a couple different things. One is they're also going through the loss. So if you have started, you know, within the divorce, right, and you're divorcing everything, they're trying to deal with all of that. If it's in a relationship, let's say you've been in a relationship and your kids have met the other party and they really thought you guys were doing really well, everything is going well, they're going to be saddened by the fact that here you are now, in another transitioning state. They are also transitioning. So you don't want to put that burden on them, right? The other thing is kids want to feel like you're strong, that you can handle things, that you can get through life experiences, because this is their example, right? And so what you don't want to do, and I know that we all do it, and I've mucked up here time and time again, but what we don't want to do is we don't want our kids to think that life is such a truly challenge, and that there's no getting forward, getting through it, right? Without turning to those that you love. And so we want them to turn to us. We don't necessarily want to turn to them. So it's best not to do that. That is one thing I will say to you. Do not do that. The next thing is, we talked about it, take care of yourself physically, focus on your health, really start doing some things that might make you live longer, right? That's always a good thing. Maybe focusing on trying to get more in shape, both mentally and physically. You want to do that. It's also a great stress tool. So I remember years ago, I used to run 3 miles a day. And when I would get upset or angry or whatever, when I had a really bad day, I ran faster than I ever did. And so that was always a really good stress release for me. So find something that you can do that will give you that stress release. If you can't do something physically, then try to do something maybe mentally that would do that. I know that my sister used to do those coloring books. She would concentrate and do those coloring books, and that relieved the stress for her. It was something that was mundane, something that didn't take a lot of concentration, but it was something that she was able to actually refocus on and be able to do that. Avoid negative coping. So of course we want to stay away from alcohol. We do, a lot of times doctors will give you drugs and things in order to help get you through. Please think twice before you do that. If you need it, you need it. But if you're drinking alcohol, it can become something else. And alcohol is very addictive. Drugs are very addictive. So you want to think twice about doing those kind of things, but it's better not to do that. And that's not going to take your problems away from you. It's only going to mask your problems and probably create a whole nother set of problems. So it's best not to do that. So I hope you'll do that. So engage in self-care. And what we mean by that, as we said, you want to start doing hobbies and activities, start to expand your growth, expand doing things that you haven't done. And that will bring you joy, relaxation, and a sense of fulfillment when you're doing something that you truly enjoy doing. So look at those hobbies, things that you put down years ago that you thought maybe you'd like to do. You never know. Maybe you'd be interested in doing them now. Also, your personal growth, self-discovery, we talked about that, really trying to home in mentally on what you want to do. And a lot of people take up meditation. I think that's really a great thing to do. You take up meditation, you start being peaceful within yourself, you kind of home in on your own ability to be able to move forward in your life. And so those are really great skills for you to do as you continue to do. The other thing is be realistic about your expectations. I think that is one of the things that we have the hardest thing with, right? Because as we're in this spot, we think to ourselves, this is not where we thought we would be. So therefore, our expectation of what our future is something not what we thought it was going to be, right? So we have to start homing in on those expectations. We have to start saying to ourselves, okay, we are here where we're at, right? We are where we're at. Where are we going to go? And so we have to start setting in new expectations for ourselves, setting in new boundaries, new movement of choice. I call it movement of choice as you want to move forward in your life. And so you want to be good to yourself. Sometimes we beat ourselves up and we say, oh, this all happened. But the reality is sometimes we have to sit back for a bit, take a breath, and kind of really analyze where we're at, and then start our path again as we want to start moving forward. There's no need to beat ourselves up thinking that we should be better at, ahead or whatever in life. I mean, life happens, crap happens. And so when that does, we can't control another party in a relationship if we have a breakup. If if it's a loss of death, of course we can't control that. And so we should allow ourselves the freedom to be able to release some of that, right? And so to refocus ourselves a little bit and let go of some of those expectations in life. We certainly want to do that. So the other one is a daily routine. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's do something different in our daily routine. Let's, so often we do the same things all the time. You get up, you have breakfast. Some people even eat the same thing all the time. They watch the same news program. They do, they go through all these mundane steps that they do in life, right? And then they wonder why they feel like, oh, I don't have a life. Nothing's happening for me. Well, you got to make it happen, right? You got to get out. You got to do something different. You have to step it up. So maybe go take a walk around the neighborhood, right? Go say hi to your neighbors as you're walking. Do something different. Shake it up. My girlfriend, Janet, used to say all the time, shake it up, step out of the box, do something different. And you'll be surprised at, number one, how good you feel about it, how you've learned something about yourself, and how you maybe even touched or learned from others. So, you want to do something a little bit different in your daily routine. The other thing is when you begin doing something different in your daily routine, what happens is you start like jump starting a new path for yourself, right? Because you're doing something different, you're exploring something different, you're shaking it up. So you want to jump start this path to be able to move forward in your life. So think about that. Think about what you do every day and try to do something different. The fifth one, I'm doing 7 steps. So the fifth one is focus on your future. Embrace the changes in your life rather than sit here and think, oh no, I don't think I want to go through this. life is, humdrum, it's miserable. I'm just going to put my head in the sand. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to watch Hallmark movies and I'm just never going to do anything and eat chocolate, right? No, you don't want to do that at all. What you want to do is you want to embrace the change. You want to say, okay, here's where I am, right? Now, what do I want in my life? What do I truly want in my life? Do I want a partner in my life? Do I want, a better job in my life? Do I want a better connection with others, right? And so what you want to do is then when you analyze what it is that you truly want, then you want to start putting the plan in place to be able to achieve that. So for instance, if you are divorced and you've taken some time to heal yourself, you've worked on yourself as you move forward, and you go ahead and you get that done, then you I'm sorry, my train of thought, but then you realize that you start putting a plan together for yourself as you want to move forward, right? So you start stepping out of the box, you start doing something different, you start analyzing where you'd like to be and what you would like to do as you move forward. And then you start putting a plan together for that. And so, for instance, I was just going to say is that I got off the train, my sidetracked here, but like for instance, if you've healed yourself, you're ready to move forward. So let's say you want to get out, right, and you want to do some things. There's, like you can go on meetup.com. Meetup.com is a wonderful place in your area. They have all kinds of different activities that you could do. You can join, you can step out of the box, you can do something different, and you can maybe do some hobbies that you might enjoy. You can join, ladies, you can join, if you just want to step out and start meeting people, do something different. You can join like a ladies group. You can, join like some activities that you maybe enjoy doing. You could start beginning doing that. Gentlemen, you can start doing, some activities that you might like. They have pickleball clubs. They have, a kayaking. They have all various different things. They also have, if you're ready to start mingling a little bit with the opposite sex, they also have activities there that you could do together. Not necessarily dating, but that you could actually, just start doing some things and mixing yourself within that environment again. And that might make you feel a little bit better. I know that unfortunately it doesn't look like our guest is going to make it today, so I'm going to try to go through these steps pretty quickly. And then the next thing is to think about your goals. We talked about that a little bit. Think about your goals in life, what you truly want, what you truly want to accomplish. And remember, your goals are just that. They are goals. They're going to shift and turn as you progress in your life. And so you might set a goal for yourself. And it's always great to set goals, right? I do that at the beginning of every year. I try to come back, analyze it every 3 months to see where I am. And then I realize, oh, things are going to have to shift. Things aren't quite making it. So don't beat yourself up about it, but set some personal goals for yourself. Say to yourself, you're going to get out of the house. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You want to have some realistic goals, some steps for yourself as you move forward. Tell yourself you're going to be happy again. My gosh, what better way in order to be happy is you truly convinced that you're going to be happy, right? And so tell yourself, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to get up today and I'm going to be happy today as we move forward in life. And so that's truly what I want. And then the next step is, the next step is emphasize good communication with your ex. Let's face it, if you guys are going through a divorce, especially if you have children, you have to have good communication. And so you want to maintain an open and respectful conversation. You don't have to love the person, right? You don't have to say, listen, you're my best friend anymore. I'm upset. I'm mad at you, whatever. Just hold that back, right? Just maintain open and respectful, communication with your ex, and that will help you be able to move forward, not only in your life, but it'll help your kids to be able to come together. You truly are a family, and so that's what's so important, that you want to make sure that you definitely honor and respect that. And they're going to watch you. They're going to see how you behave. They're going to see that, oh, mom and dad are splitting up, but they're still respectful with each other. They're still, they're still my parents. They love me. They still treat us with a respectful environment. And so that's very, very important that you want to do that. You want to communicate clearly and concisely as you're moving forward with your ex, right? So there are different platforms that you can get on if you need to, scheduling, things like that for the kids. It gets kind of crazy. I know I have 5 kids myself. They're all grown now, but I remember when we were in baseball, cheerleading, and all those kind of things, and they got crazy, right? So there are apps, there are different things that you can get that will help you with that scheduling to keep track of everything. Share that with your ex. Share that with them, and be open about it, and allow them to participate in your children's life as equally as you would want to do. Think for yourself, what would it be like if your ex was an SOB, right, and didn't allow you to participate in your children's life? Think about that for a minute. You wouldn't want that, so don't do that to the other party, right? Allow them to be open and have conversations and be able to participate. If they choose not to participate, that's their choice, right? And you'll just have to pick up the slack, because your kids going to expect, they need that, right? And so sometimes if that happens, it happens. And so you just want to work together as much and well as you can. But if there's a problem, if there's a fiction, if whatever, step back. Always be the one that takes the high road, right? And then the higher road you can take, the better it will be, and the better for your children as you move forward. And things may, as time goes over, it may work itself out. It may end up working itself out if you don't escalate. A lot of times we get upset, we get angry, and our feelings are hurt. And so we allow our feelings to surface, and we show it in anger, right? We show it in a way that's probably not appropriate for anyone to see. But we do it. It's life. That's what happens. Try not to do that. Try not to let your emotions and what you feel inside come out of your mouth, and your behavior be negative, right? So you want your kids to look at you as being, the right person, always doing the right thing, and therefore they will always be that way too. A limit contact if necessary. Hey, you don't need to be your ex's best friend. You don't need to know what they're doing, when they're doing it, how they're doing it. All you need to know is what pertains to you directly and your children. Whatever they do outside that parameter, you don't care. You don't need to know, right? You don't need to go on Facebook. You don't need to stalk them. You don't need to see what they're doing. You don't need to be their friend on Facebook. You don't need anything like that. You need to have an open, clear, concise communication that you can discuss things that need to be discussed. Other than that, you don't need to have any part of their lives. Whatever happened to you, whatever the situation that you've chosen to separate, it was a choice, right? It was an absolute choice, whether it be yours or theirs. So therefore you are where you are, and now you have to move forward, right? So you do not need to belong into their lives, and they do not need to belong into yours. So the only thing that needs to be of concern with your ex is what is involved with the children. Other than that, they are a stranger. And that's how you look at it. And I remember um, one time I was talking to my ex about something or whatever, about my son and whatever, and then he said, well, I'm really glad that we can be friends. I said, whoa. I said, make no mistake, we are not friends. We are not friends. We are the parents of my son, and that's where we are, and that's all it will ever be from this day forward. You've chosen a life outside of me, and therefore you are not my friend. And that was a clear boundary for him to understand that, hey, you can't have your cake and eat it too, buddy. You can't have the privilege of my friendship, my laughter, my joy, my life. You can't have that anymore. What you can have is, you can have a great mom that will be there for my son, that all you have to do is pick up a phone and talk to me about our son. We'll be able to communicate clear and concise. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be mean. All you have to do is be clear and concise as what you're going to be doing, and just move forward. If you need to, the last one is seek legal advice. If you need to, if you really truly have trouble, right, you need to seek legal advice. Now, my suggestion to you is before you go and get an attorney and all of this, if you're going through the divorce, whatever, you probably already got one. But you've got to separate the business aspect of the divorce to the emotional aspect of the divorce, right? And the more you can tap in on understanding the emotional part of the divorce, maybe get a coach, someone like that that helps you get through it. Maybe you could do mediation that would save you time and money throughout divorce, right? When you hire an attorney is adversarial, generally speaking, adversarial, and therefore fighting is going to be involved. There's going to be, I want this, I want that kind of thing. But when you do mediation, you're actually coming together as a family, and you're dividing assets and expenses. So you want to look at it like that. You want to have somebody that helps you in your corner understand. The biggest thing I think as we go through divorce, we don't understand, right? We don't understand what's happening to us, and the attorneys don't have time to always explain that to us. So a coach will take the time to explain each and every step that you have to go through. Why is it important, right? Like your financial affidavit is one of the most valuable pieces of information that you'll have to fill out. And if you don't know how to fill it out, or if you feel uneasy about filling it out, there are coaches out there that can help you do that. They can sit down with you, go over them, and explain why this is important, what documentation you need to have, that kind of stuff. So seek advice. Seek advice to as what you need, right? And seek professional advice. You don't necessarily need to go to war, right? If you're going to be going down the road of divorce, you're going down that road one way or the other. And you don't need to go kicking and screaming and spending a whole lot of money, right? So the best thing to do is get a professional that can explain to you the process. You can understand it. You can get your head around it mentally as what you're going through in a business sense, right? Put your business cap on. Help your family to save money as you go through this process. And then if you need help on the emotional side of it, rather than lash out to the other party, get the emotional help you need. If you have insurance, check it out. There might be able to go to a therapist or something like that to be able to get help. You can go to a support group, or again, coaches. There are a zillion million coaches out there that can help you in a variety of different aspects. Connect with one of them and be able to help. And if you go to a coach, let's say you go to a coach and you don't connect, then get another coach. Move on and get another coach. If you feel it's too expensive, you can't afford it, find another one. There are many coaches out there that can help you. But when you find the one you really truly connect with, stick with it, because they can help you not only through the divorce, a lot of times they can even help you after the divorce and help you move forward in your life. So that's very, very important to do. Let's see if there's anything else. You want to stay out of court, right? Because court, believe it or not, court is not your friend. When you go to court, all they are is, they look at you as a number, right? You're a number, you're a process. It's, if you can stay out of it, both financially and emotionally, it's a better thing to do if you can do that. So stop for a minute, right? And really try to suppress that anger that you have inside as you're moving through, because there's 5 different stages of emotions that you're going to be going through. Grief, loss, you're going to be going through anger. You're going to get so mad that it's, as you go through a relationship loss, whether it's by divorce or just a relationship breakup, you're going to be experiencing that. So you want to go through those 5 steps. Look them up, and we've got shows on them too. But you'll go through each one of those steps, and but none of those steps says go to court, right, and lose all your money. That's not on there. It's not on the list. There's, there's also, this is probably the last thing I'm going to say too, but as you're going through divorce, you have to also understand the personality of your ex, right? And if you're going through if you have a very difficult ex, you need to find a coach that knows how to deal with that difficult ex. This is a whole different animal, and you need to understand that, because if you don't, that process is going to drag you through the ringer, both emotionally and financially. And so no attorney is going to be able to help you with that. So you want to go and find a coach that can help you deal with not only the economics of that, but also deal with the being able to go through and understand that emotionally what you're going through, right? So if you are dealing with, and I'm not saying, an ex that you get mad or whatever, but if you know that this person is, we know the kind, right? Without being unkind. If you know you're going through that, you need to get somebody that's going to help you through that. You need to get a therapist. You need maybe to have a coach. There's different processes that you can go through. And you want to be able to build your team to help you get through this situation, right? Because when you're looking at this, right, when you're looking at the ways to cope through separation and divorce, you're looking at it from your perspective, not from the other person's perspective. So you want to get what you need in your life, right? That's going to help bring you to another plateau, that will fill your well with good positive information, and will feel that you're supportive throughout the entire process. And so I know we were going to have Beverly Price on. I guess we'll reschedule a show with her. She talks about empowered divorce. You definitely want to check her out. She's a wonderful individual and with great deal of knowledge to be able to move through. But you do want to feel empowered, not only as you're going through divorce, but you want to feel empowered as you step forward into your new life. You want to be able to be like, Wonder Woman or, Batman or Superman or whatever. You want to be able to feel like, you know what, I got it. I can get through this. I know that the next phase in my life is going to be awesome. And I'm going to make a choice, right, to make it awesome. And so that's what you want to do. You want to feel that empowerment as you move forward in your life. So just know that wherever you're at now is not where you're going to be, nor where you're going to be tomorrow. So keep that in mind. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I do apologize for our guest not being able to with us today. I think she misunderstood. I think she thought it was a recording versus a live process. So I do apologize for that, but we will have her back on. She's with the Empowered Divorce. She's an elite guest and TV host, Beverly Price. You do not want to miss her because she is an awesome individual. If you do want to reach out to her, which I would highly suggest if you're looking for someone to kind of help move you through, her phone number is 843-315-8659. 843-315-8659. You can go to her at email her Beverly at herempowereddivorce.com, or check out her website, herempowereddivorce.com. We got a lot of stuff going on, so I'm sure the confusion is there. We're building up for in October, which is the domestic abuse month, and so we're building up for that. You're going to see a lot of shows geared towards that. So if you've ever experienced that in your life, there's certainly shows that you want to watch. But we're doing a lot of that. So we're doing a lot of different shows. We're doing shows where we're doing live. We're doing recorded shows. We're doing all kinds of stuff. So I think that was a little bit of maybe a mix up on my part with her. So just know that she's a great individual, and reach out to her if you do need a coach or you need some help along the way. She definitely is there, and she can help you with it. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. We talked about the 7 ways to cope. And, I hope that you are not, suffering too awful, terrible. 7 ways to cope with separation and divorce. Just know that, tomorrow is another day and it will be brighter for you. So I hope you guys like this. This is Cece Schatz. I am Cece Schatz. I'm the doyenne of relationship building. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And this show is called Going Solo Life After Relationship Loss. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Oh, if you want to contact me, I almost forgot to put my stuff up. Just go to goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. And again, all of our information, goingsolomedia.com. I'm on all the social platforms, so you can reach out to me anytime, and I'm happy to hear from you. So again, my email, goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. Love you guys, and thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.